Ladies and gentlemen, it is best ball season. We are finally here. The dust has settled on the NFL draft, and now we can start being degenerates and drafting our own teams on Underdog and elsewhere. But for now, I'm Kevin Tompkins, Andrew Cooper, Britt Flynn, the Godfather himself, Howard Bender. It's best ball season. How we doing, folks?
The Godfather? The Godfather? Do I look like Charlie Wiegert here? Come on, man.
Because if I say a cross word, I'm going to be sleeping with the fishes here.
Oh, man, I'm psyched, dude. Come on. I'm sitting here with the lightning round crew. We're hanging out here. Fantasy Alarm, Bettor Sports Network, and we're about to jump into a live best ball draft. Oh, the draft is actually, I believe it started. I think I jumped in already.
Let's go, baby.
It's starting in 20 seconds. So if you're not familiar with best ball here, let's get you up to speed real quick before we throw up a draft board. So best ball, you do not have to set a lineup. You can take the fun of drafting. All you have to do is draft. And you know what? It's great if you just want to get some practice with some ADP, some average draft position for your redraft teams. It's fantastic and couldn't be better. And also with Underdog,
yeah, I did a best ball mania 4 this morning just in preparation for this one because I had to see where all the rookies were going and get ready to crush you guys.
I got a handful of those in myself.
And I guess at this stage, right as we're starting, we should mention promo code Fantasy Alarm on Underdog. They'll match up to $100, 100% of whatever you deposit in bonus credits right away. And we're doing this one with the staff. We got Colby Conway, we got Servo, Corey Parsons, the whole gang's here. The next ones we're going to be doing are going to be with Fantasy Alarm members. We're setting it up in the Discord. So get set up now on Underdog, and then you can join us. Draft with Howard. Jim Bowden said live on air the other day that he's getting in, so he can't back out. He's going to be drafting with us. We'll get Ronas in. We'll get Fensty in. We're going to get the gang in. Whoever you want to draft with, we're going to set it up in the Discord, and we'll all draft together as a family. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A couple picks off the board already, Kev.
Yeah, looks like we got Justin Jefferson. We'll get the draft board up here in just a moment. But first 3 picks are in. Of course, our old Colby Conway from Fantasy Alarm, Corey Parson, Dan Servadidio, the top 3 picks. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce off the board.
There it is.
Justin Jefferson's looking like the consensus 101 here. I know we're so used to running backs going in the first pick or first couple picks, but 2023's got to flip on its head a little bit. This might be the start of a new normal here.
Here's the first pick that's going to flip people on their head. I'm on the clock. I'm taking Bijan Robinson.
Oh, you just took him from me.
Yeah, I took him from everybody. He's mine, baby. You don't go up and draft a running back at 8 overall if you're not going to use him heavily. They have all the pieces to block over there. Kyle Pitts, 6'6", Drake London, 6'4". They traded for Jonnu Smith. They signed Keith Smith. They brought back Chris Lindstrom. They brought back Caleb McGarry. Like, this team, besides the quarterback, they're ready to rock and roll, baby. Let's go. Bijan, the new Saquon Barkley.
And there was a report today that Patterson may be a casualty of the salary cap, so that opens everything up even more for him.
Yep. 31-year-old kick returners do not scare me when Bijan goes 8 overall in the draft.
Yep. And there's the promo code. There's a QR code right there. Head right to Underdog Fantasy. Use our promo code Fantasy Alarm.
Look at the technology. We're living in the future right now, baby.
Yeah,
best ball's the future.
Thank you for clearing that logo out of the way, man. I was like hiding out over here. Oh, Kev's going full shades here.
Oh, the future's bright here, gang.
Let's go, dude.
Wow.
What's up?
I made the most boring pick of the draft already, guys. Jonathan Taylor in the first round. He's just going to be like the RPO master with Anthony Richardson under center.
With that RPO, what's his yards per carry going to be, Howard? Like 7?
7, 8, something like that.
Yeah. My only concern... You're trading you maybe a few less receptions, maybe Richardson vultures a touchdown, but it's not going to get much safer than Jonathan Taylor with the RPO behind Quentin Nelson, right? Like, safe as it gets.
I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pretty confident in using that. It's going to be funny to see what happens. Now, obviously, strategy-wise for best ball, usually my MO is grab the running backs early and then just play receiver roulette. But what we're seeing now, obviously, with the trends, I'm curious as to what you guys think about this. Which way do we go? Are the wide receivers going to be the elite wide receivers? Are they going to be that boosted up where we're going to see a majority of them in the early rounds here? or are people going to kind of go back to some running backs? I got to start with Kev on that question, only because Kev hates running backs, hates them, hates them.
I don't hate them. I just have a
Yes,
general disdain for them.
Yeah. Oh, all right. General disdain.
Yeah. They don't call me tactical.
Somebody got a word of the day calendar, didn't they?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's looking like the new normal. I mean, wide receiver scoring has gone up as far as like the baseline for the top 12, whereas running back scoring, I mean, we're seeing the last couple of years with Jonathan Taylor being the 2021 and then 2022 with Austin Eckler. I mean, the scoring is just going down, and these wide receivers, especially in the elite offenses with the passing games, they're able to match up. So I think we're starting to see the consistency of the wide receiver scoring being able to match what we've seen with running backs previous to like the last couple of years.
Britt taking Garrett Wilson. How are you feeling about that, Britt?
I love it. I think that his ADP of wide receiver 9 is way too low, frankly. He was a low-end wide receiver 2 last season with a revolving door of quarterbacks. And now that he's got Aaron Rodgers there's so much more just sustainability in that offense. And I think he could possibly make a run for the wide receiver 1 overall in fantasy. So I love him, especially in the second round.
Yeah,
thanks, Brett. Appreciate you guys all.
I knew you'd appreciate that,
man. That's
Yeah, you're gonna be rooting for the Jets anyway.
So all right, so here we go. Do I just make the most lame pick? I did a draft. I did a draft actually yesterday, and I started off with Jonathan Taylor. I was picking 8th. I mean, this one's a little earlier for me. But do I just start it off the exact same way and go completely boring and anti-Kev? Yes, I do.
That's exactly who I knew you were going to pick.
Yeah. Not a league winner. The guy only rushed for 1,500 yards and had 12 touchdowns last year. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, Howard, the name of the game, ADP is a construct. Just pick your players and have fun. I mean, if this was Best Ball Mania 4, which is live right now, was live on Saturday, and people are starting to trickle in for that. With like tournaments like that, it might behoove you to pivot to where you think you can get a unique start, maybe with the first 2 players. We're just in a self-contained 12-person league right now. So, certainly 2 running backs, definitely. I mean, it's not as though it's not viable. It's certainly viable. Taylor and Chubb are 2 bell cows, so can't really go wrong.
Is it possible to share the draft board itself as opposed to this? Not that I mind looking at Kev's queue. I'm totally cool with that.
I'm not setting a queue just because I don't trust you guys.
Yeah. I think the draft board's probably a little bit prettier for everybody to look at there. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, get that going. For the first round, you could leave the scroll up, but now that we're in round 2, we got to get this up. Howard, your team looks ridiculous.
My team is ridiculous. It's amazing.
You know what?
That's the problem. Everybody loves their team 3 rounds into a draft. Like I'll tell you what, I'm going to be here for 3 rounds. I'm going to tell you how much I'm going to kill you guys in this best ball. And then I'm out of here.
That's what you get to do when you're the boss, right? You set your own schedule here. Well, we got to rotate you out. We got to rotate everybody in because we got people hanging out. We got Corey Parson coming on. We got Dan Servadidio. So we'll rotate people around. You got two of the best pure runners in the game. I got my boy Jalen Waddle here. I love that with the new offense, Mike McDaniel came in and they took a guy who was like a 7-yard A-dot slot guy and converted him into the kind of guy that he used in San Francisco, a 12-yard A-dot full-time outside wide receiver. That's why Jalen Waddle, despite his targets going down, his yards went way up. I think that the sky's the limit for this guy.
Big fan. I don't know why people sell him so short. Like, it was crazy. I got him in the 3rd round of yesterday's draft. I literally started off with Taylor, Chubb, and then Waddle was just sitting there for me. I'm gonna have to dig a little deeper today.
Yeah.
So I want to bring up Colby's pick at the 2.12 with Breece Hall. We saw J.K. Dobbins fall last year with his ACL injury, and that happened prior to the season, and he still missed 3 or 4 weeks before he actually started. Is 212 too high for Breece Hall coming off that injury?
I think it's maybe I think early third, even if you have to take him with a 2-3 turn, I still like that. Just you know what you're going to get from Breece Hall. Right now, the backup is what Michael Carter and Izzy Abanikanda, whoever you want to throw in there. But we saw him, just absolutely ball out. Granted, that was with combination of Mike White and Zach Wilson, but Aaron Rodgers will check down to him as well. So I really do like the Breece Hall pick. We know he can get on the ground as well, and running from the Jets as well with Mike LaFleur. I like it.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Hackett, I mean,
it's not the same as the as a situation with Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams has multiple ligament tears. His is more like J.K. Dobbins. It's more like some of the bad ones we've seen. Breece Hall, I saw him running on a treadmill as early as February. Like, he's on track to potentially be ready to go early on, not necessarily play a full snap share, but I think he's going to be up and running and back to full speed sooner rather than later. Like, people talk about like the miraculous Adrian Peterson recovery and all these things. The reality is, if you just have a straightforward ACL tear, it really is these days only like, a 9-month recovery or so, versus the ones where you tear the MCL and the ACL and the meniscus and all these different things. So it's not the same between those two guys. And that's why you see Breece Hall going way before Javonte Williams.
Quick question here before I scooch on out of here and give room to somebody else. First of all, John and Pemba, you're dead to me for stealing Calvin Ridley. Number two, so I grabbed DK Metcalf. I'm very, very curious as to hearing all three of your guys' takes on the Seattle situation now that they took Jackson Smith-Njigba, and where we see the target distribution going as far as this goes.
Yeah, the way I look at it is this: Jackson Smith-Njigba just became Chris Godwin, where when Chris Godwin joined the Bucs, they had Mike Evans and they had Deshaun Jackson, and Chris Godwin would come in and play slot in 3 wide receiver sets, but then he would come out of the field for 2 wide receiver sets. I think that's exactly what happens early on with the Seahawks. You have Metcalf and Lockett, JSN coming in. Lockett's 31 though in September. So like we saw with Chris Godwin, once he became the man in 2 wide receiver sets, it was wheels up. That might happen this year, might happen next year, but I don't think a guy like Metcalf is ever coming out of the game. So I have no problem with that pick here still.
Yeah, I just at the current ADP for like Jackson Smith-Njigba, I think it's a bit rich. You could probably see him coming off in like the 5th, even the 6th round. But Seattle ran the 6th lowest 11 personnel last year. I just worry when he's going to get on the field. Granted, he is going to get rotated in. There's going to be times where maybe Lockett's out and he comes in or something like that. But they do run a lot of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. So that's what I worry about with Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think he's a great dynasty pick. I just can't imagine him getting on the field too much where he's going to be able to pay off that specific ADP.
I agree completely. And then from another total wild card perspective, they got Charbonnet. So how hard are they going to establish the run versus how much are they going to pass? It's just so many questions in that offense.
Oh, I wanted Amari Cooper there, Kev.
Yeah, I wanted.
Well, Howard's on. Bye, Howard.
I'm here.
I Amari Coopered him out.
I gotta say, Coop, I was all queued up to take Ramondre Stevenson there, and then you grabbed him ahead of me, which is why I had to then pivot to Calvin Ridley, and I know that Howard was upset about that draft selection.
So you're trying to put that blame on me, is what you're saying. You're throwing me under the bus
directly on you here.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think that's fair, and I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be here. We're gonna go on the clock. Pick Lamar Jackson. There you go. QB here.
Fancy boy.
Get that rushing upside.
I got a tough decision to make here. I know what I want to do. I'm gonna go with this guy. I'm going to skip a bunch of these players and take the guy I really want to take. Keenan Allen last year over the last 8 games was the wide receiver 2 in PPR behind only Justin Jefferson. I'm not too worried about rookie wide receiver coming in. I'm feeling still pretty good about him. I almost took Drake London there, Jerry Jeudy, but I'm going with a safer guy.
Awesome. We got Corey Parson in here. Corey, how you doing, my friend?
What's going on? Glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's that time of year. We're through the NFL draft now, so it's time to start putting our strategies together. So I feel like, am I on the clock because I'm like double screening right now? Or am I one pick away?
You're one pick away.
All right, very good. Thank you. How's everybody doing today?
Doing good, Corey. Doing good.
Better now that you're here, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
I haven't talked to you since last Thursday.
Yeah,
the
it
first night of the
was pretty
draft.
fun. You know what I'm saying?
That was a good time.
I'm just sitting there trying to make it. I think I like the way the team is coming together so far. I'm going to go with my guy from right up the road, not too far from where I'm sitting right now, and that's all Big Mike Will from the Chargers of Los Angeles.
Now, how do you feel? Are you a little bit worried about him with Quentin Johnston coming in there? And I know, the Chargers love to throw. They love to throw, 3 wide receiver sets. Josh Palmer's also involved a little bit in there too. But how do you feel about that kind of dichotomy between those top 3 wide receivers and how targets might be
I think the target will
distributed?
still be there. And if not, I still believe that he's the guy that can stretch the field and potentially the touchdown scorer. Really, when their offense is at best, in my opinion, is when it's running, when he's out there and he's healthy. Injuries is going to continue to be the key though. Oh boy, can we pause this right quick because I'm on the
Mike
clock
Williams.
and talking.
No, I don't think we can pause through this one because it's third-party app.
Look at that! I got Kendall Walker who has competition now.
Just want to comment that I'm sure it wasn't a homer pick by Colby Conway taking Damian Pierce, the Houston Texans fan, going running back there. I'm sure that wasn't a homer pick.
Certainly not a homer pick there for him.
I
Yeah, I'm with you though on Mike Williams, man. I mean, this guy, he's had, we've seen him have monster games, receiving yardage wise. We've seen him have, 10 touchdown seasons. Like if this guy could just stay healthy one time, the upside for him is massive yardage and double-digit touchdowns. Which and then
I think the player that Mike Williams is the player that they would hope that Quentin Johnston would become. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of almost prototypical. So, like, health is the key. As long as we get it healthy, Big Mike Will, I think the targets will be there. And obviously, that's an offense that can support a lot because they like to throw it back and forth.
I'm on the clock here, and I'm taking a guy right now. And I think with this pick, it solidifies the 100% draft rate I have on these underdog drafts of Miles Sanders. This guy, I mean, we've seen the yards per carry, over 5 yards per carry for his career, which only like 6 guys that have like 400 carries have. And we're talking like Jonathan Taylor and Nick Chubb. We're talking big time rushers. And we've seen him have 60, 70 target pace with Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts was taking all the goal line carries himself. The Eagles had the lowest percentage of RB targets. Give me Miles Sanders in a different offense. They paid him a bunch of money. That's what I want to see. I want to see this guy be a feature back and actually catch passes, which I'm excited for it this year. We're going to see. As long as the quarterback holds up his end of the bargain there, it should be all right.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be Bryce Young's going to be managed a bit more, at least in the beginning of the season. So I do like them leaning on the run with Miles Sanders more. So I'm warming up to that pick a little more. I know, Coop, you're pretty much all in like the CBS receipt of Miles Sanders.
Like surface of the sun is the temperature I am on that pick. So yeah, I know other people might have to warm up a little bit to it.
What's with the Dalvin Cook fall in ADP this year? I mean, the guy's been a perennial first round pick. All of a sudden now he's dropping down to round 5. I mean, we're not worried about Alexander Madison. He was certainly a great player last year. As long as he's on the Vikings roster, what's he fallen down so far for?
The rumors that he might get cut, and now I see Kalyuk in the chat calling me a coward if I don't draft Dalton Kincaid. We'll see, buddy. We'll see. There's a lot.
Cut, though, is he not going to a team that would just immediately feature him as a lead back?
That's what I'm saying.
And he might be past lead back.
Right.
Yeah, that might not be in his thing no more. Let me tell you, the industry is always like kind of ahead of these trends.
They're sharp. We're getting very, very sharp.
Exactly. So if he is falling there, that's for a reason. Now, you get into August and everybody else hops in and stuff like that, and we really you may see it push up a little bit, but unless it's drastic, I think that we may have the play. First of all, how many games is he gonna play?
Played 17 last year.
That's amazing.
For the first time ever, right?
Played a whole season. So, I mean, I guess that's what
he ain't gonna play 34 straight.
I mean, I don't like the project injury. Certainly, he's a guy that has dealt with some of that before. But I mean, he's in an offense that's going to score. He had 8 touchdowns last year. Is he going to be a 1,500-yard back ever? No. But I mean, still involved in their passing offense. To Coop's point, like I guess if there's a risk that he gets let go and then he signs somewhere where he ends up being more in a timeshare, sure. But as long as right now he's still on the Minnesota Vikings, it feels like they're not going to all of a sudden play Alexander Madison over him or start giving Madison more of a workload unless it warrants it, because they've never proven to do that. So I don't know. To me, it feels like there's a bit of a value there.
I'll tell you, just wait for one of Dalvin Cook or Joe Mixon to get cut and then get picked up by Mike McDaniel to run in that offense behind Teron Armstead. And then now all of a sudden we're looking at it and like, oh, wait a second. I think I just got a mega upgrade here. Like that's the kind of stuff that could happen. Like, could one of these guys end up on the Cowboys sharing with Tony Pollard? Yeah, maybe. But I think that if they do get cut, there are teams out there that I thought were going to make a move in the draft and then didn't. And they're good landing spots for running backs.
Yeah, there's still a bunch of, I mean, it's only the first day of May. There's a lot of landmines still for these running backs to need to avoid, to where we're really feeling confident about them going into week 1 as a starter.
Do we have to draft a quarterback? Can we just turn quarterbacks off?
It's third party.
Third party, that's right, Corey. That's right.
I did turn running backs off.
Just shut them off. I don't want to deal with them. Yeah, turn running backs off.
But listen, the quarterback, I think the quarterback thing is going to be interesting because I was looking at some early NFFC results, and what you're seeing is quarterbacks are pushing up the board. I don't think this is going to be this is going to be the year where I think we see people go back to drafting quarterbacks earlier. So curious of your guys' thoughts on that, because it does seem like quarterbacks are going to push up the board this year as opposed to what has been basically the past decade.
Yeah, I swear it happens.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying it happens every time a quarterback has like a crazy season. The next season they all go early. Like 2013, Peyton Manning throws 55 touchdowns. Quarterbacks go in the first and second round. Same. Cam Newton has that MVP year where he throws for 36 and runs for like another 30 or whatever it was. The next year, quarterbacks going like crazy. So you see guys like Jalen Hurts come out and Justin Fields do amazing stuff. The next year, like Corey says, now people are like, oh, well, this guy won me my league last year, so I'm just going to go and get a quarterback and win my league.
Then it's the running, you know what I'm saying? How many quarterbacks, it's giving you points on the ground. So it's almost like you're drafting 2 positions if you hit the right one. So I think I'm back on the clock again. Might take a quarterback myself, you know what I'm saying?
One of the reasons I was so high on Jalen Hurts last year was that he already had the running. And then I just loved what they added to him around. Obviously, we see what that's to like. What are the reasons why you think there are plenty of quarterbacks here that are starting to show that running potential that could be pretty interesting? I'm curious to see how Daniel Jones is looked at this season after the running upside he showed last year.
700 yards, man. That's no joke. That's like top 5. When he runs, he doesn't run like everybody else. He runs like he's holding a newspaper over his head and it's raining.
Over himself all the time.
Yeah, he's running scared versus some of these other guys.
But he's got wheels, right?
Like he gets it done. Yeah, absolutely.
He's got it. So
Brian Dable, man, I mean that's his offense, dude. If he's basically just saying, hey, you got to pretend you're Josh Allen now.
Right? Yeah, hopefully they can get him some weapons like they got Josh Allen there. I don't know necessarily if Darren Waller is Stephon Diggs here, so if they can work on getting him some additional guys there, they can see what they got.
I'm on the clock. This is a pick I like making a lot, a speculative pick that when DeAndre Hopkins does inevitably get traded, Zach Ertz could miss time to start the season. We've seen this time and time again on these like ghost ship offenses, teams that are trying to tank, do a bridge year. Somebody just gets peppered. Sometimes it's Preston Williams or Robert Foster, Amon-Ra St. Brown on these Lions when they were rebuilding. Kenny Britt had 1,000 yards with the Rams. Terrell Pryor had 1,000 yards with the Browns when they were doing these tank years. If the Cardinals are going to just blow it up and kind of not add weapons and get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, whoever's left over floating around there, I'll be interested. And not just Marquise Brown. Whoever the leftovers are, the ball got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, and we brought in James Grande. Grande, how you doing, my friend?
Good. I heard Daniel Jones was the topic of conversation, so I had to hop in here. I am happy nobody said that Daniel Jones was sneaky fast, because the classic quarterback, white quarterback, so
he's a lunch pail guy. Right.
This is a pick, by the way. I just want to say that you told me I was going to be making this pick.
Wow. Kevin Tompkins.
He just got the vote of confidence from Zach Taylor that we want him around. And yes, our fearless leader, Matt Deutsch. Yeah, I did want Trevor Lawrence actually to stack up with Christian.
I mean, the Bengals may want Joe Mixon around, but does the NFL league policy want Joe Mixon around? Is he going to be facing any sort of legal troubles. Don't know what's still going on around all that. They
Basically, the
refiled
eighth
charges
round, I'll
against
take
them,
it.
didn't they? I mean,
there's a lot going on around that. But hey, if the coach says he's the man, then he's the man. So I'm still in on that. I've always been a mixing guy, so I'm in on picks like that. I just already took so many running backs myself. Can we bring up the question from Anthony Rivera? I think that's a good one, and I'd like to hear Kev, our resident Packers, unbiased Packers fan, unbiased to the point that you get most of your Packers followers very upset on Twitter whenever you don't go with the homer take.
Most?
He even got Aaron
Most?
Jones commenting on him, being like,
Yeah.
You
All right.
know
So
what?
what do you got? What do you think about this? That the question was, can you read it? I don't have it up again.
Where do you think Rodgers
There it
goes
is.
now that he's in New York? Is he a value pick? I mean, we're only playing for the season here, so I think absolutely you could probably get him after the first, 12 quarterbacks or so. Right now, I think going off at QB 14. So I think that's a good spot for him. I know you're going to get the efficiency. You're going to get close to 4,000 yards, if not a little bit over. You're going to get at least I'd say 25 touchdowns, given health from Garrett Wilson and Lazard and all the other guys. Tyler Conklin's still there. I think that that having that top weapon in Garrett Wilson, I think that's really going to help Aaron Rodgers. If they can, I'm on the clock here. I'm just going to make my pick real quick.
Let's try to distract you with a question so I could get the
I saw that. No, I do like him as a value pick, though, certainly after the top 12 quarterbacks.
Yeah. What do you think, Grande? Are you going to be in? Are you going to have any Aaron Rodgers? That's the real question.
I mean, there's a lot of weapons in New York, so probably. I mean, and depending on what we're gonna get from Breece Hall, if he's slow out of the gate when he returns, I mean, they could rely on Aaron Rodgers a lot more early on. So,
Right.
I do like Rodgers, and I like the weapons, and I would stack them in a best ball in a minute.
Yeah, and you got to remember that, like Rodgers last year, it's not like he was garbage. He was QB 13.
He was hurt.
Tom Brady was QB 12. Yeah, and he was hurt. So it's like this guy's still good. Like a lot of times people, they jump right to, okay, Big Ben's old, so he's going to retire. So whoever comes in next is going to be better. And that's just, it's not how it works, especially in the short term. Like Big Ben's stats, even in this last year, were far better than what you got from the quarterbacks last year. So sometimes moving on from these guys that are just done playing, but doesn't necessarily mean that they're not good anymore. To younger guys, that's not always a guarantee that you're going to get the boost you're looking for.
Old doesn't always mean washed.
That's right, dude. And like Tom Brady was like QB 12. He's just done playing. But do I think Tom Brady could come back right now and be a top 15 quarterback in the league? Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Well, especially when he goes to the 49ers, because they don't have a quarterback.
Stop that, John.
They go make a phone call. You got
That's
Tom
not
Brady
what we're
now,
doing here, John.
Kittle, and Ayuk.
No.
I think they're in a pretty good spot. No, the 49ers are in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. What's the update?
Not a forum for you to air.
They're in such a good spot. They have a 7th round quarterback coming off.
Yeah, they're in a pretty good spot, John. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
What's the update with the elbow? What's the latest on that? I was looking for it the other day, and I heard that he's got like this like crazy looking arm brace, but I haven't heard about what the timeline is going to be.
Yeah, dude, looks like RoboCop right now.
Yeah, I saw like the RoboCop pictures, the Robo arm. Imagine he just keeps that on for the rest of his career. He's like Jaylen Brown with the mask. He just decides that's his look.
Or his arm becomes like Henry Rowan-Gardner from what is that?
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Hey, you never know, honestly. He could be the reverse Chad Pennington.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Shout out Randy Moss's college quarterback, huh? What a pairing that was.
Clock his throws with a sundial.
To this day, I swear that Chad Pennington would have been a legendary quarterback had he not had the shoulder surgeries. I mean, he still turned out to be a pretty good decision maker and a high completion percentage guy, but just couldn't throw downfield. I'm telling you, that guy, he had it. He was him, and the injuries took it away from us.
Womp womp. Well, let's see. We're already halfway through this draft, by the way.
We're flying.
Yeah, this is flying. That's what happens when so people at home, especially Fantasy Alarm members, because you're going to be drafting with us next week. This is what you see sometimes because we're doing one staff one, and then we're opening up. We want to do drafts with you guys. It gives us a better idea ADP. allows us to hang out, have a good time, talk a little trash. I know I see some of you guys in the chat talking trash right now.
We'll be having a best ball channel soon in our Discord.
Yeah, we're going to add a channel there. So get signed up on Underdog. Use promo code Fantasy Alarm. They'll match up to $100 deposit. And then keep an eye out for the change to the Discord channel. I'm trying to do that today. Grande, check your email, please. I sent you an email earlier. And then we're going to get that changed up. Go to the best ball channel and just say, hey, I want in. And then we'll get you squared away. The first people that do it are going to be in the first one. We're going to try and run a bunch of them. We can do slow drafts as well. So let us know if you prefer the fast ones or the slow ones, and we'll get this flying around, man. We'll get it up and going.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah,
I'll be living in that Discord.
Cool. No tight ends for you yet. What are we doing here?
The chat already mapped out his plan.
Panicking. I was talking about Discord.
Kaluk mapped out the plan.
Yeah.
You're not a coward. Back-to-back picks.
Gave away my secret.
Y'all standing there. I got Lamar Jackson. I was waiting to draft a Baltimore wide receiver. Literally, Reeland and Coop go back-to-back with Baltimore.
Yeah.
Well,
we can't let you have.
John. You've got your choice of punt returners in the 17th and 18th round that you can take.
I don't even know what I'm going to do here. We'll just do this. Wow.
The air raid. I'm excited to see what Todd Monken's air raid offense looks like over there. You know, I'm excited to see them actually use 3 to 4 wide receivers, probably lining Mark Andrews up in the slot as one of those wide receivers, but still, they now have 3 wide receivers in Bateman, Odell, and Zay Flowers, man. And Todd Monken has said, my background is in quarterbacks. My background is in wide receivers. I enjoy throwing the football, which is a welcome change from Greg Roman, who was just the worst, just running the football into the ground nonstop. Slow pace of play. I was done with Greg Roman.
You killed me there, Kev. I was gonna build a little Minnesota secondary stack with the captain.
That's for my flag plan of 2023 Jordan Addison, by the way.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you felt I reached on.
I did
earlier.
Dude, Matt Deutsch, he's Greedo on the draft board, just absolutely rug pulled me with that Chiga Okonkwo pick, dude. You know that's my boy. He's tight end 14 in ADP right now. Yeah, there it is, dude. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Well,
he's tight end 14 right now. He's still tight end 9, 10, 11, 12 on the board. That's what you got to do sometimes when you know the people you're playing against.
Can we talk about Taysom Hill still being listed as a tight end here and just, you know,
it makes no sense at all. As Blink 182 said, it makes no sense at all.
Or like, isn't he one of the better best ball, tight ends to take an opportunity?
Better tournament play, certainly.
Truly.
I mean,
right?
he advanced people in Best Ball Mania last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy that he's still listed as it, but it is what it is.
The strategy for tight end best ball changes from, so like I always preach the yin yang tight end where you draft one safe guy and you really only care about upside because you're only starting one guy and you only care if he has top 5, 6 in his range of outcomes. Best ball is totally different because you don't have to pick one guy to start. So touchdown dependent guys are actually okay to have in your stable. You got to draft 3 or 4 tight ends, right? So if you have one guy that gets pretty steady targets and can give you a floor, then it's okay to go and chase after some of the touchdown guys because if they catch a touchdown, they go in your lineup. If they don't, you don't have to worry about it. So It's a different strategy for best ball. We're going to be talking about them all week. Kev, you got you're the one hammer on the best ball articles coming up. So why don't you give the people an idea what you got going on this week?
Yeah, so definitely going to be profiling some running back, post-draft values that I like. A guy I just selected might be in there, Devin A-Chain for the Miami Dolphins, who certainly at best ball could be, we see rookies all the time come up in the second half of the season. There's some ambiguity between, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. Those 2 guys were there last year. Obviously, Wilson was traded mid-season, but Devin A-Chain, they drafted him to be kind of a home run hitter, a running back, maybe a running back Tyreek Hill at that. So definitely somebody that they're going to want to be able to use. But yeah, so running backs, wide receivers, at least this week, going to do a best ball mania strategy guide coming up this weekend. And then next week, hit up the quarterbacks and tight ends as well for guys that I like in best ball. So the best ball articles, the best ball coverage is not going to stop here.
Those going to be free, John?
believe they may be. Yeah, I think I think that's the idea behind there. We may have some premium content there. You know, we do have the great deal going on right now at Fantasy Lab. Go to fantasylab.com/all-pro. Use promo code NFL50. You get 50% off the first 6 months of our all-pro package there. And now you also get a 7-day free trial included in that as well. So why not? Look at that. The boss in the chat. They will be free. There you go. Just
There we go.
you know, so, I got to speak with a little ambiguity there because I don't know what Bender's plans are. Free. Everything's free for best ball for now. Exactly. We got things going on, but still, go sign up. fantasylab.com/all-pro. Promo code NFL50 gets you 50% off the first 6 months. And if you're looking at a calendar right now and you start counting out 6 months, that takes you into the NFL season. So you're getting $19.98 a month for the first 6 months, access to everything we have on its site, not just NFL content, but baseball, NASCAR, NHL, NBA, MMA, PGA, all the DFS and seasonal content you could ask for there. You got access to all of that. We got betting content on the site. So fantasylab.com/all-pro, getting your opportunity to get access to that. We got Servo in here with us, man. Dan,
what's up, guys?
How's your draft going? What's your favorure pick so far?
Well, I'm on the clock right
You're
now.
on the clock now. So is this your favorite pick?
Let me make this pick. Yeah, well, I'm taking Tyler Boyd here. I love him as like a later, mid-round wide receiver. And he's my fifth receiver.
Now that pick's trash, Servo.
Yeah, let's just roast my draft now. How about that?
Pull it up. Where is it?
I don't love my running backs, to be honest. I kind of got stuck into getting Derrick Henry. I just thought he was slipping a little too far, and I don't love him as like my RB1. But I took a chance on Jacques Charbonnet. I hate the landing spot for him. I love these college guys coming out, but I hated the landing spot. But I think he could pop off and eventually take over that lead running back role at some point. I think there's a reason they drafted him that high. So.
Yeah, your draft. I'm looking at your draft. It annoys me that it's good. I was hoping it would be bad. It'd be easier to make fun of you, but I like a lot of these picks. I like Devonta Smith for the same reason I like Jalen Waddle. It's like these guys were both wide receiver ones. We see throughout history, you see tons of times where there's two guys on the same team. If they have a good quarterback, you're just better off that way. Last year, there were 5 teams in the top 20 wide receivers. There were 5 pairings that were on the same team. That means that the other guys, mathematically, only came from 10 of the teams. So 17 of these NFL teams didn't have a single wide receiver in the top 20. So I don't care about getting the wide receiver 1 for the Texans. I do not. Like, I would much rather have the second wide receiver for the Eagles or for the Dolphins or for the Bengals, right? Like,
yeah,
forget that. Even the Seahawks. Like, just give me these highly consolidated target shares. I'm on the top 2 wide receivers with good quarterbacks, and I'll just go on living my life. And I'll take the discount that I get in the 3rd round. You got Devonta Smith in the 3rd round? That's stupid.
I know. And he's a guy that like really benefited, I think, from AJ Brown going to the Eagles offense because it just took away some of the coverage. The defenses couldn't double team either one. And really Smith is a guy that, he was really good man-to-man coverage if teams had to do that. And same thing with Brown. But so I think both those guys, and I watched them plenty as an Eagles fan, so I could see it up close every week of just them, both of them kind of going off and taking turns going off each week, which is the other thing with best ball. I think both those guys are going to have huge weeks, and Smith for sure. He had multiple games where he had, multiple touchdowns in a game.
In the games with Dallas Goedert healthy, he was getting the games without Dallas Goedert, he was getting 8 targets a week. Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
In the games with him healthy, he was getting 7.7 targets a week. So it didn't even matter. Like, he was just ahead of Dallas Goedert on the pecking order now. So I'm fully on board. I'm fully on board with that, which unfortunately you made that pick and we can't roast you. So good pick.
Well, Howard Bender, by the way, in the chat saying you got Rashee Rice. That was another guy, I remember we talked about on draft day when he went to the Chiefs as a dark horse, rookie of the year. And that was a guy I had my eye on in this draft late, but whatever. Right
when you said that, I went and put $100 on him to win rookie of the year.
There you go.
Plus 5,000. So if he wins rookie of the year, I win $5,000. There you go.
Yeah, who knows?
I wonder what the odds are today.
I just want to say something that I was looking for a specific quarterback here, but Justin Vreeland took him at 6'9", Anthony Richardson. So I'm going to keep my Minnesota stack alive with KJ Osborne, but This is about the range where he's going at 10th, 11th in Best Ball Mania. I've gotten him a couple times where it's so easy to stack Colts. If you're playing in like a tournament and you want to be able to get a Josh Downs or Jelani Woods, we've seen these quarterbacks. This is about when they go with like the Trey Lances, we thought he would be, playing a full season, obviously got hurt, Jalen Hurts, guys like that. So Anthony Richardson going into this year, we know Jim Irsay was talking about wanting him to get in the mix immediately as the starting quarterback for the Colts. But what do you guys think about Anthony Richardson as far as certainly best ball?
It's the mobility for me. I mean, again, the guy that's going to give you that rushing upside. And then you look at, they have, they added some pass catchers from. They obviously already have Pittman there for him. I don't think we're expecting much from him first year as a passer, but like anything you get added to what his running upside could be, you might be looking at kind of like what Justin Fields gave us his rookie year. If you look over the final half season for him, he had some 20 fantasy point games there because just purely based off his ability to run the ball for 80 yards and a score. So that's kind of my opinion of him. Is it early to take him there? I mean, it depends on how your builds are and if you're looking for that upside there. So I don't hate it, but like you said, in most drafts right now, he's your QB2, QB3 you're throwing darts at right now. So
for all the haters in the chat, I did select Dalton Kincaid and put my money where my mouth is. So everyone can relax. He's going to play slot wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, probably get more targets than Gabe Davis. Love the landing spot for him. They'll have Dawson Knox in line playing the Dallas Goedert role, and they'll have my man Kincaid in the slot playing the Zach Ertz role. So it's gonna be beautiful music, I believe.
The best sentence I saw during this entire draft weekend was somebody called, I don't know who it was, but they called Dalton Kincaid, quote, tight end Cole Beasley.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's fact. Just a bigger slot guy. He's 240 pounds. I mean, like if you go back and watch the highlights, that's what he looks like. Sam Laporta is hopefully going to do the same thing. The thing with Sam Laporta, though, he ends up going to the team that has Amon-Ra St. Brown already, and they have Jahmyr Gibbs now, and it's like all these guys that can play slot. I'm hoping that
Grande,
Dalton Kincaid can rap. I don't know. We'll say this though. Say what you will about Cole Beasley and his politics and all that. That the song 80 Stings by Cole Beasley, kind of a banger. It's kind of a banger, dude. Just saying.
No.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm not saying it's in my rotation, but it's on my Spotify somewhere.
Do we know if Dalton Kincaid got the vaccination or not? Like Beasley?
Well, if he's going to be Cole Beasley, it's
probably not.
We'll have to get that squared away. Does he have all his teeth? I'm going to take a guy here. When you talk about a format where a touchdown gets you into the lineup, I'm going to take this guy, young, strong fella, fresh off a 3-year contract. So a lot of football left to play. Adam Thielen. Go ahead, Kev. Tell me why he's too dusty to select, even in best ball.
Well, if he's too dusty to select, I'm just never like in the frame of mind where I'm like, I gotta have a Adam Thielen, the wide receiver, maybe one on a rebuilding team. That's just I just can't do it. But maybe he can be like an upgraded. He can be Brandon Zylstra 2.0.
I mean, I had Mingo queued up already to take, so you taking Thielen, I just followed it up with the better player. So pretty easy.
Better player, dude. First of all, how dare you? Second of all,
and on that note, I took Bryce Young not too soon before that.
There you go. I mean, I love the Panthers strategy of, okay, we're going to draft a short quarterback, so let's just go and get a bunch of tall players and to catch passes. That evens it out, right?
The opposite with Baltimore is let's bring back Lamar Jackson and get a bunch of 5'7", 5'8", small guys to go.
The Chiefs and the Giants and Baltimore seem to have the same strategy of like, let's just get 1 million Sky Moores and we'll sort it out later. Like Rashee Rice and Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore, that should do it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put Wan'Dale Robinson and Sterling Shepard, put a trench coat to the X receiver.
And Jamison Crowder. Like how many? Why? What are they doing?
Our resident Texans fan, Colby Conway. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, brother? Hey, so you still beaming from the 2nd and 3rd overall pick in the draft, my dude? How are you feeling about that one? I heard you on the radio talking about it, but give us some feelings here. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I said it on the fantasy baseball podcast we recorded today, but on May 1st, I never thought I'd be saying it's a good time to be a Texans and a Pirates fan. It is a crazy time right now. Y'all are lucky I'm here sober-ish.
Yeah.
For being honest, I'm still riding that high from Thursday and Friday and Saturday. So it's exciting. I only have one Texan right now, which is probably the downfall of this team, but don't worry, there's some picks coming soon.
I saw you drafted a former Texan at quarterback there, but
Wow.
I don't know. Texans country doesn't really not big fans of that guy as of now, but still, I like the upside for Deshaun Watson. We know the magic that's possible. We know that this offense is a good offense with a bunch of capable players, so I'm expecting a bounce back for Deshaun Watson.
Colby, what are your thoughts? You took Pierce. What are your thoughts with Singletary in that backfield with him now as well?
Not worried. He'll come in there. He'll catch some passes. He'll get a couple of carries, but I mean, when you look at it, I'm truly surprised Houston didn't draft a running back. I definitely thought they'd be in the market. They had a couple in for multiple visits during the pre-draft process. Like, I believe it was Tyjae Spears that they had in a couple of different times. So surprised they didn't add him, but I don't think people are talking enough about as much as a player can win the draft as Dameon Pierce did, because Singletary, they didn't give him a ton of money. Like I said, he'll catch a couple of passes, but Pierce is the dude, and where he's at now. I was surprised to get him, so I think he's going to fly up the draft boards as this season goes, as we get close to the start of the season. But he's looking down the barrel of an RB1 season because the offensive line is improved. We'll have to see how he does in the likely zone run scheme that they're going to implement. I don't believe he did that much at Florida, so that's kind of the only knock on him, but volume is there. It's going to be there, and I'm biased, but this should be an improved offense that can actually sustain a drive.
Yeah, the big thing with Dameon Pierce that I saw was he graded out pretty poorly, as a lot of rookies do, in pass blocking. He was outside the top 120 guys. For those keeping track at home, there's only 32 teams. So if you're graded out outside the top 100, that means that you got to figure it out. They did bring in Devin Singletary to potentially help with that. But if Dameon Pierce can get that part of his game figured out, I don't see a whole lot of weaknesses to what he does. So definitely a winner in this draft, and a guy that we've already seen him, like the way he runs is so violent. We've already seen that part of his game. That's not going anywhere. If he can develop the second part, wheels up, baby. Wheels up.
We're talking pass protection. Like, you can't get any worse than Antonio Gibson. So you're just by comparison, you're pretty good.
Yeah, but that was the downfall of some of these guys. Philip Lindsay, the reason Philip Lindsay had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and all those highlights, but never really caught on anywhere, is because he couldn't handle the pass blocking. That was the big thing for him. It's been the downfall of a number of guys. I mean, Philip Lindsay with 2,000-yard seasons. I mean, Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, neither one of them has a single 1,000-yard rushing season. So something to think about.
I almost went Bigsby there in my most recent pick, and Servo just snagged him there for me. So we're in handcuff territory here.
We're in zero RB territory, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're right there. Let's see what we got coming up here. Oh, Kobe's on the clock. Let's see what Kobe's in.
Yeah, Kobe, what you got? Kobe's got 2 picks here.
There
he is, Nico.
Yeah.
I still believe Nico Collins. To me, the best comparable for him was Kenny Golladay. Same draft capital, same size and weight, same 40 time. And you know, we joke about Kenny Golladay now, but nobody was laughing when he had 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. I think that's in the range of outcomes for a guy like Nico Collins, who's going to start at split end for this team. So I don't mind that pick at all, even if it is a homer pick.
Kenneth Gainwell with his wraparound pick there. Obviously, Swift, Penny now there, but injury history is looming pretty large there. Could see Gainwell in a pretty strong spot there.
How do you feel about that pick, Colby? Talk us through the Kenneth Gainwell spot.
It is what it is, right? That's pretty much it. I'm banking. I hate to bank on injuries, but as we've seen the past couple of years, if you're going to get an injury from someone at running back, Penny and Swift have been probably at minus odds, if I'm being honest. So that's what we're going with there. Hopefully, you think they'll split carries, but more so Philly's supposed to be good again. They have the lead late. Why injure Swift and Penny in meaningless games when they're up 3 scores in the fourth quarter? No need to run them into the ground. Gainwell may only give me 1 or 2 weeks, to be honest, this week where he cracks the lineup with the point total, but that's what we're going for there. He's going to have a role, even if it's reduced, but he's 1 injury away, which is unfortunately probably pretty likely with Swift and Penny.
I'm not a huge film guy per se, but I will say this. I enjoy watching Kenneth Gainwell play football. He can find the creases. He's very exciting. He's for some reason scores like 15 to 20 yard touchdowns all the time, which, that's one of my favorite plays. Like when you're not expecting them to break one off from like 20, 30 out, and then they do. Kenneth Gainwell is that guy. So I do like the talent. It's just, and again, it's a ambiguous backfield, so you never know.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we just saw Ezekiel Elliott come off the board. These are the landmines these are the guys that could maybe take one of the RB1s that we like, and punt them down to the RB2. Not going to take Leonard Fournette. Actually, you know what?
Maybe
not going to actually. Wait a minute.
Not going to, but actually, I'll tell you what.
No, I'm a less of a believer in Najee Harris. So I'm going to take Jalen Warren.
There's one landing spot for Zeke Elliott or Leonard Fournette. I think one of them would fit this role well. I thought they were going to draft a running back. They did not. But the Los Angeles Chargers, Edward Rouse's Los Angeles Chargers, they have Austin Eckler for pass downs, obviously. They've been trying to find guys to be like the big goal line type back. They've tried the Larry Roundtrees and the Joshua Kellys. Hasn't worked out. The reason they lost to the Jaguars last year is they could not run it when everyone knew they needed to run it. Yep. If they just had someone that could get the first down when everyone knows you're running it, then they probably would have won. I think Zeke Elliott, that's a perfect landing spot for him, or Leonard Fournette. And I think it's coming. I think it's only a matter of time. If they didn't, I'm surprised. If I thought they were going to draft a guy like Dwayne McBride, because they already have a pass catching back. It doesn't matter that Dwayne McBride only caught 5 passes in his entire college career. He had 1,700 yards and 19 rushing touchdowns, but instead the Vikings drafted him. So now he's dead to me.
Had to go with your boy Sam Laporta there to pair with TJ Hawkinson.
Sammy. I couldn't double down on rookie tight ends. I think that would that's taking a little too far.
This could be one of the most exciting rookie tight end classes in a while, just based on the archetypes of these guys, of the Dalton Kincaids, of the Sam Laportas. Obviously, Green Bay drafted 2 themselves with Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. So after Kincaid, I would say is probably the consensus with tight ends. Like, who do you like as far as a best ball, like an end of best ball? Do you like Laporta, or is there anybody else you like more, Coop?
I do like Laporta. We're looking for guys that can be a top 2 target on their team. So any path, any argument you could make, right? So you can make the argument that Dalton Kincaid is going to be a top 2 target with after Stephon Diggs. You can make an argument that with Jameson Williams suspended, now Sam Laporta is just going to play straight up wide receiver. He looks like a wide receiver. Why can't he line up out wide at split end, right? It's like Marvin Jones and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I would also throw another name in the ring, and I don't mind, since we're doing this for the fans, for the kids. He's still on the board. Luke Musgrave on your Packers. They're not super loaded at wide receiver. We like the guy Reed they drafted, but you never know. So why can't Luke Musgrave be a big slot? In fact, they drafted 2 tight ends, Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. Tucker Kraft is more of an inline guy. They might just go 2 tight ends right away. Tucker Kraft inline, Luke Musgrave in the slot. Why can't he be a target monster for Jordan Love? So those are the guys, those are the conditions that you need for a rookie tight end to succeed. They need to not only be the best pass catching tight end on the team, but a top 2 pass catcher on the team outright. That's how you get Kyle Pitts. Evan Ingram as a rookie was top 5 because Odell Beckham Jr. hurt his knee 4 weeks into the year. So that's the formula. We're looking for guys that can actually be a top target right away. Otherwise, we're playing the sit and wait long-term game, which is what you're doing with guys like Michael Mayer.
And Green Bay didn't really do much to their depth.
Britt Flynn's back.
Hi, guys.
I was going to say, Colby got really good looking.
Yeah. Aw, so sweet. Colby is really good looking. I will defend Colby on this one.
I'm just going to blame his looks on the ecstasy of the Houston Texans draft this weekend. We'll just blame it on that. But Green Bay didn't really do a lot. So I can see Musgrave really jumping in there immediately, kind of like Dulcich did last year in Denver.
Yeah, and it looks like, with them drafting those 2 tight ends, they really want to give Jordan Love options in the middle of the field. So getting those 2 plus a Jaden Reed, you've got Watson that can, take the top off of a defense, but you've got Dobbs that are out there too to be able to do whatever you need him to do. So giving options for Jordan Love in the middle of the field is only going to help him. He doesn't have to, just sling the ball downfield and hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm Jordan Love is a guy that I did a lot of the early best ball drafts, and I was pairing Jordan Love, the best ball 2 QB, the super flex ones, and his ADP is right around Christian Watson. So I had a couple drafts where I was at the turn or very close to the turn, and I just said, know what? I'm just going stack, bing bang, grab them both. Kind of intriguing to me because you're getting the guy's top target, and you're getting a quarterback that in two QB formats, he's probably in your lineup every week, right?
Yeah, gotta be. I mean, and then Gator asking the question: does Musgrave move over Dobbs? I think Dobbs and Watson are certainly locked into the top 2 wide receivers there. Reed would probably be more of a slot option at the outset. But I think with Rodgers now in New York, with Jordan Love there running that offense, we're going to finally see what the Matt LaFleur offense, because Rodgers would check to pass plays at the line. So I think now that kind of filter is headed east, I think we're really going to see the true Matt LaFleur offense, what he's wanted to do for the last 2 years.
Yeah, my policy.
And I think that's going to be a lot of running.
My policy on the wide receiver versus tight end question is, if there's a question at all, give me the tight end, because you can start him at tight end in fantasy football. Like Evan Ingram versus Zay Jones. Zay Jones definitely had some good games, but Evan Ingram being able to start in the very thin tight end spot is more valuable. So if it comes down to the battle of who's going to get more targets, if it's a question at all, give me the tight end eligible guy. Because if they score the same exact number of points, the tight end is more valuable. If sometimes the wide receiver can score more points and the tight end is still more valuable due to positional scarcity.
Speaking of positional scarcity, I had to take the best story of the entire draft with my last pick in Deuce Vaughn. Like, can we talk about how awesome that was? Pollard's still rehabbing from injury. They brought in Ronald Jones, but it's Ronald Jones. I think that Deuce Vaughn has a kind of clear path, more so than a lot of other of the rookie running backs, to actually produce this season in Dallas. So
and
I'm pretty stoked about that.
I love that his father has worked for the Cowboys since 2017, and he went to them and said, I'm taking myself out of the analysis for my son. Like, I'm have no say in it. If you don't draft him, then I don't care. Like, that's just the process. And they still took him, which, pretty cool. So
super cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot for them.
And he grew up a Razorbacks fan. So that's even better for me. I'm kind of obligated.
Oh boy, you're dipping in multiple pots here with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just a reminder, you guys, I saw Gator J mention in the chat. He was like, I want to get in on these. If you want to get down on these, this one's staff only. We just wanted to get one on the books right after the NFL draft, get our feet wet with all the landing spots and everything. But we're going to start doing them with Fantasy Alarm members starting next week. So make sure you go to Underdog and get signed up there. Use promo code Fantasy Alarm. They'll match up to $100 in bonus credits. But if you put in 20, they match 20. It's up to 100, right? And then after that, make sure you're a Fantasy Alarm member. We're going to set it up in the Discord, the best ball server in the Discord. It should hopefully be up today, and just jump in there and say, I want in. And then we'll get you set up with a draft. I think we're going to do one on Thursday. If not Thursday, it's going to be next week, but I think we're doing one as early as Thursday with the gang. You can get in, talk a little trash, have a little fun. It's going to be a good time. So make sure you're all set up with that. Best ball season, baby. Woo!
It is here. It is live. I'm
final
excited.
pick coming right now. Let's see what who's Mr. Irrelevant here in this draft. Colby
Amazing
Conrad.
timing on these things, dude. Exactly an hour.
Well, that's what's so great about Underdog. We just did a full draft in an hour. 30-second pick clock. It's why you can do 150 Best Ball Mania drafts in no time. You can do it in a week. You can burn out these things here. Tyquan Thornton, little Patriot speeder out there on the end there, closing out this draft here. It's been fun, guys. It's been a really great draft. And like you said, we're going to be doing plenty of these throughout the season. You got to be part of Fantasy Alarm already. Go ahead, get in that premium Discord, get access to everybody you see on screen here. Download the Bettor Sports Network app. It's free to do. It's in your Google Play and Apple Store. Get access to all the content on demand, contests, Bettorcast, everything that we have going on at bettorsports.com, everything we got going on at Fantasy Alarm. We're part of the family here. So go ahead and take advantage of everything that's happening here heading into football season. It's crazy to think, but it's already here. We'll have plenty of content. The NFL draft guide will be out sooner than you think. So I'm just ready for a big 2023 NFL season there, guys.
I definitely won this draft.
You think you won the draft?
That's debatable.
100%. Like, not even close. So on Thursday, you're going to have to try and beat me. I'm already the offseason winner as of right now. But yeah, seems pretty clear.
How can you be the off-season winner if I'm the off-season winner?
That's the best thing about these drafts is we have 4 months to talk trash before it actually happens.
So if you're watching, let us know who you think drafted the best team here. We're getting on social media. You can comment on Twitter. You can comment here in the chat on the YouTube page or Twitch page, however you're watching it. Let us know what your favorite team is there. We'll be back again, like Coop said, later on this week with another draft. We'll be seeing you in the best ball streets here for Britt Flynn, Kev Tompkins, and Cooper. I'm John Pem, everybody. We will catch you guys later.